everybody, welcome back to this channel. Today I am doing a story time and I am telling you all the story about how I saved someone while blind drunk. Sounds like a crazy story, but it actually happened. So I'm going to get started. So grab some popcorn or some drinks and let's get into this story time. I guess I'm going to start from the beginning. So me and my friend Renee, we used to go out clubbing a lot when we were like our younger selves, before we met our partners and, you know, got pregnant and all that kind of stuff. So I think we were about 19 when this happened, and we were going out on our normal night outs that we used to go to and used to do like every single weekend. It's just like something that everyone does. I feel like everyone goes out every single weekend when they're a certain age, and we did that when we were 19. 19 was like our year that we just constantly went out and smashed it. Anyway, so this one time we were going and doing, you know, our normal thing. So this night we went to a place called Tiger Lil's, which is in Perth. If our Perth people are watching, you probably know exactly where that is. It's in the city, so it's like right in the city. So we went to Tiger Lil's, we had, you know, a couple of drinks there, we met some people and whatever. That's basically the story there. So from Tiger Lil's we ended up going to another place that's on the exactly same street, and it's called Capital. A lot of people go to Capital. I feel like it's like the place to go in Perth is Capital. We ended up getting really drunk, me and my friend Renee, and I remember we went to the toilet and I was so drunk that I couldn't sit on the toilet. I just couldn't fathom how to sit on the toilet. That's what happens when you get really drunk. You get to a stage where you just don't know how to do things anymore, and that was that stage. So yeah, at this point, like, a bouncer came in, like a female bouncer, not a male one. A female, like, security bouncer person, whoever she was, came in, basically knocked on our door and said that we had been taking too long. Don't ask me how she knew we were in there for the amount of time that she thought we were in there. We were taking too long and that we were going to get kicked out because we were too intoxicated, which is probably right, because we were definitely very intoxicated. The bouncer had said to us, if we don't go then we'll be kicked out. And we went to get some kebabs, because that's what you do when you get drunk, you get some kebabs. We went down the road, got some kebabs, and then we sat near the kebab shop, and we ended up actually meeting the people that we were clubbing with before. They were already outside. They were actually leaving without us. They didn't even say goodbye, they were just leaving. And we ended up sitting with them until we wanted to go home, I guess. So we ended up sitting with them and all this kind of stuff, and Renee was talking to one of the guys, like, you know, chatting them up and all that kind of stuff, and I was just sitting there doing my own thing like I always did. And I was just sitting there, you know, looking at my phone, looking at the people, talking to random strangers. And this guy, I remember seeing him, he was just like walking, because he was like quite tall. He was a very tall guy. He was quite tall, quite bulky and everything. And I remember him walking past us, and then these two people like was behind him running, and they came up and they had king hit him, or you could say cowardly hit him. They king hit him from the back. I think it was from the back or from the side, I can't remember, it was so fast. And yeah, they just like hit him. He fell straight to the floor. He went head first, so like this part of his face hit the ground, and he just went down. It happened so fast, like it was intense. These guys ended up grabbing his phone, his wallet. I think they grabbed like his car keys, I don't really know. They just grabbed anything that they could grab like quickly. Ended up grabbing them and just bolting. No one saw them again. They literally just bolted. I couldn't see them, anything. And I remember as soon as he hit the ground and these guys ran off, my friend Renee grabbed me and she's like, don't help him. And I remember pulling my arm out of her like hand, and I'm like, no, I need to go help. So literally as soon as like these guys ran off, a herd of people went to this guy to try and help him, and I was one of those people. So like people like trying to move him and everything, and I was like yelling to everybody. I was like, don't move him, don't move him, you know, he could have a spinal injury, don't move him whatsoever, you know, he could be unconscious. Well, he was unconscious, but don't move him. And then I told everyone to like move away except for this, like these two guys that were going to help me like roll him over. And I had his head, so I just held his head in my hands and made sure that it didn't like twist when the body, like when we turned the body over, because he was face down. So we had to get him, so this is his head, so we had to get his head from here to like here, without twisting his head with his body when they were turning him. So I remember like holding his head and he was like this, and I just had to, you know, hold it while they were twisting him. And then one of the guys left and one guy stayed, and I was just like, you know, can you put his leg up so he doesn't roll back, and then just put his arm up so he doesn't roll over. And he did that and everything, and I'm like, you know, thank you or whatever. I was like, you guys, you can go if you want. And he actually stayed there for quite some time, this other guy. I don't even know if they were friends or whatever, but I don't think they were, because this guy was walking by himself. So he ended up staying for a little bit, and then we ended up like noticing that he was bleeding quite a bit. So he was like bleeding everywhere. He had cut like his forehead, so he had cut his forehead from here to I think about here it was. And he cut his whole forehead. He had like blood coming from his nose, blood coming from his lip. He obviously had blood coming from the back of his head where they had hit him. And then he just had, you know, like scratches and bruises from, you know, hitting the gravel floor or the concrete floor. I don't even know what it was, the pavement, basically, you know, getting scratched from the pavement. And obviously the bruises were just from the force of going from standing to you know, face first. So, you know, I was trying to like wipe the blood off and everything, and I remember my friend Renee's like, Amy, just leave him, you know, the ambulance is coming, just leave him. And I'm like, no, I'm helping this guy. He was actually breathing, he was just like severely unconscious. So like we put him down onto his back, and I literally just sat. Like all the other guys just left, everyone left, it was just me all by myself. And people were watching, like people were honestly just watching me, like seeing what I was doing. And we had put him on his back, and then everyone left, and I was holding his head, and I was sitting cross-legged, and I was just holding his head in my lap. And it honestly was one of like the scariest things to do, because I was like, I don't know if this guy's just gonna wake up and, you know, be startled, or he's gonna be scared, or he's just gonna see me and be like, why the hell are you holding my head? Slowly woke up, and, you know, he put his hands to his head because obviously it was sore, and I was just like, don't touch your head, like put your hands down and everything. And he kept on asking questions, just like, you know, what's happened, who are you, where am I, you know, what am I doing, and all this kind of stuff, you know. So I explained to him that he had got king here, he's fell unconscious, he's bleeding everywhere, and that he's okay. I've looked after him, he's okay, I'm here, you know, nothing's happening, you know, you're okay, like, don't worry. And by the time he had like woken up, the ambulance actually arrived. And one thing, like, I remember that it still upsets me to this day, it really does, that this man that I had never met before, that I, you know, tried helping to save him, and you know, saw literally everything that happened to him, saw how much blood he had on him, and everything. This man that I still don't know his name asked me to go to the hospital with him, and I didn't go. And it still upsets me knowing that I never know, or I never knew what actually ended up happening with him. I don't know his name. I didn't know where he was from. I didn't know his age. Nothing. I literally don't know who this man is. I don't know anything about this person. The stage of what happened to him, and I literally don't know who he is. Like, I don't know nothing about him. And the reason I didn't go to the hospital was I wanted to go. I was going to go. But one, my phone only had 6% battery on it, and I couldn't tell my dad. Like, I couldn't ring my dad to say, hey Dad, I'm going to the hospital, nothing's wrong. I've actually just, you know, witnessed this attack and I'm going with this person. I didn't have enough battery to call my dad to tell him, you know, I will be home, you know, later, or, you know, tomorrow morning or whatever. And also my friend Renee was staying with us the night, and she didn't want to go to the hospital with us. So yeah, that's basically why I didn't go. I really wish I went. But the next day I remember calling the hospital, because I knew which hospital he was at, because I asked like the paramedics which hospital he was at and everything. And yeah, I remember calling the hospital and I said, hey, someone came in last night, they had got king hit. I know they came into your hospital, you know, about 6 o'clock. Am I able to like talk to him or whatever? And they said I couldn't talk to him unless I knew his last name. And because I didn't know his name, I couldn't talk to him. Which was really upsetting because I knew he was there, but I couldn't talk to him. He could never know who helped him, nothing. So I think that was really hard for me to deal with, because I wanted to know more about this person, and I'm sure he wanted to know, you know, who helped him or whatever, but unfortunately he will never know, and I will never know. Okay, so I actually do have a picture from the night that I put up on Facebook. The caption is, "This poor guy's blood. Luckily he had me there. Nicest guy, didn't deserve what happened to him." And this is my hand after he left to go to the hospital. So if you like are queasy with blood, like look away for a few seconds. This is my hand from the night. See, there's a lot of blood there. And it's honestly weird to look at this photo and to think like what actually happened that night. But as you can see, there was a lot of blood. I was literally covered, like both my hands were covered in blood. My arm was covered in blood. All my jewelry that I had on my wrist was absolutely covered in blood. I had to throw them all out. Luckily it wasn't like nice jewelry or like jewelry that I actually cared about. But I remember I had like blood on my forehead from like wiping my hair out the way. I had it on my dress. I had it on my legs because what I was wearing, like when I was holding his head and everything, I literally had blood literally everywhere. I really wish I knew more about him, but unfortunately I will never know anything about him. So yeah, something that I have to deal with the rest of my life, I guess, not knowing who I actually saved. Yeah, anyway, I am going to get going, and I hope you all found this video interesting. I don't really want to say I hope you enjoyed it, because it's not a video you really should enjoy. It's a video you should find interesting but not really enjoy. But anyway, I'm going to get going, so I guess I will all see you guys next time. I might put up a video tomorrow, I'm not too sure, we'll just see what happens. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. I hope you all have a good day, and yeah, bye.